Welcome to Monday Morning Dharma on April 20th. Thank you for joining us. So, I have a fairly, by our standards, a somewhat lengthy kind of Dharma talk planned. So, I don't like doing this, but it's kind of necessary for us to do a little bit shorter meditation this morning. So hopefully we can make up with a longer meditation in a future class. But yeah, for now, why don't we go ahead and settle in to a comfortable meditation posture? Please give yourself permission to settle into a place of quiet stillness, of spacious clarity, tranquility, and luminosity. Now is not the time to reflect on events that have occurred in the past. Those events cannot be changed, undone, or recreated. Nor is this the time to speculate about events that may or may not occur in the future. The future is unknown to us at this time. Now is the time to be fully present here in this moment. Now is the time to give yourself full permission to enjoy engaging in a practice that's going to bring you a peaceful state of mind and at the same time benefiting all of those who share your world with you. Please gently transition into meditation on the inner body and be the silent observer of sensations. Please become aware again of your physical body and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of physical body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Deeper and deeper breaths, becoming aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of clouds, of blue sky beyond the clouds, of limitless space beyond the blue sky. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation and Dharma talk to world peace. May leaders of countries who are at odds with one another soon come to recognize that nothing is accomplished with minds of anger. Instead, may they resolve their differences using minds of empathy, patient acceptance, compassion, and wisdom. And may we individually make the greatest contribution we can to world peace by resolving differences that we have with others in our own lives using minds of empathy, patient acceptance, compassion, and wisdom. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Teta, welcome. It's so lovely to have you back with us. Um, Having a little California presence here on Sunday morning Dharma or Monday morning Dharma. Yeah. So we are continuing our journey through the Lam Rim meditations. Lam Rim, of course, being a Tibetan word, which means stages of the path, as in stages of the path to the destination of the path you want to be following. And that's kind of in our discussion of refuge practice, that's what we discussed on Friday and what we will continue to discuss. On Friday, I made an appeal to us to be clear about where we'd like to go with our practice, like what our intention for practice is. Um, for those of us who are new to Dharma practice, Dharma paths, and for those of us who have been on practicing Dharma paths for several years, we might sort of have this vague notion, oh, yeah, I guess if you were to ask me, I guess I'm on the path because, yeah, I want to feel better or I want to become a better person because my significant other is driving me crazy, and whatever it might be. And that you're here shows great wisdom. That you're here shows great wisdom because I can't tell you over my years of teaching meditation how many times I've had people say, in effect, this person is driving me crazy. They really need to start meditating. You know, it's like, kind of invokes confusion about who's the one who really needs to be meditating. Anyways, my appeal is for us to have a clear idea of a destination that we'd like to reach with our practice without grasping at results, without even expectation of results, but just to have a clarity of our intention and sort of like end game, for lack of a better term, for our Dharma practice. And this is sort of our point of departure as we venture into these waters of refuge practice, the fifth of the Lamrim meditations. And just to refresh everyone's memory, in Friday's class, we talked about initial scope paths, if you will. And there are two. Dawn at the end of class asked for clarification, and I'm so glad that you did. Within initial scope practice, there are a couple of different paths. One that is followed by an ordinary, um, an ordinary, what is it called? An ordinary being. Is that what? Small being, small being. Thank you. Ordinary small being, special small being. Ordinary small being, someone who engages in meditation, spiritual practice, so they can experience the fruits in this life. Yeah. Special small being engages in meditation practice, Dharma practice for the sake of their future lives, to create beneficial circumstances for themselves in future lives, starting with taking a fortunate rebirth. Okay, and we've talked about the dangers of lower rebirth. I won't go into that. Um, Intermediate scope is a path for so-called middling beings. Middling beings. This is for someone who seeks to attain complete liberation from suffering, like to, yeah, um, not just to experience fortunate conditions in their future life or future lives, but to completely extricate themselves altogether from samsara permanently. And this morning's discussion, this morning's Dharma talk is going to be essentially about what is samsara. So we can be really clear on this, okay? And then great scope, great scope practice for Alicia, is it called great scope, great beings? Um,
I just wrote great.
great scope, great beings. A person on practicing the great scope path wants to attain complete enlightenment, not just liberation, permanent liberation from suffering, but complete enlightenment. What's the difference between those two? We'll get to that in a future class. That's kind of specialized and very important stuff, but we'll talk about that over the upcoming classes. So, again, some of us who are new to this path, and even for those of us who may have been on the path for a long time, still might not be clear about what exactly is samsara. And I'm going to take a completely different approach to trying to explain what samsara is. Ordinarily, I go through a bunch of definitions and, like traditional Dharma, traditional Buddha Dharma presentation, which is valuable and really important, but we're going to take a different approach this time. Just the one definition I want to, or it's not even a definition, it's a translation that I'd like you to hold on to, please, is the translation of the word samsara. It means cyclic existence. Samsara translates to cyclic existence. This cycle that we experience in life after life that goes birth, aging, sickness, death, rebirth, aging, sickness, death, rebirth over and over and over in perpetuity, as long as we have delusions within our mind, as long as we're on the karmic wheel. Okay. Samsara cyclic existence is the translation. Okay. So, what is samsara? And to explain this, I am going to refer to a contemporary movie called The Truman Show. Have you guys seen The Truman Show? Yeah? For those of you who have never seen it, you please see it. I was thinking about it. Top three movies for me, maybe number one. I don't know. It's a great. And for those of you who have seen it, see it again. Yeah, it's I just looked it up on YouTube, and there's a fee, there's a charge for it. You know, some movies on YouTube are free. There's a charge for it. I watched it most recently, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and it was on Netflix. So it's out there, it's available, it's an amazing movie. To refresh your memory about the plot, the storyline of the movie. So the Truman Show is, of course, fictitious, and well, it's fictitious and it's not, okay? But television program, it's the most popular television show in the world, and it is about um, a man whose name is Truman. Trivia quiz. Any of y'all know what Truman's last name is? I had to look it up this morning. Truman Burbank. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but the Truman Show. And Truman is the subject of the most popular television show on the planet, translated in all sorts of different languages. And Truman Burbank lives his life in this community that is actually a movie set. It's actually a movie set. And everybody in Truman's world are professional actors and actresses. And there's a director and there's a production crew and all of this stuff to make Truman think that the life he's living is as it appears. Okay. Truman's living his life completely oblivious to the fact that all is not as it appears. Really key feature. Okay. So Truman starts to get some little hints, some little signs. There's some glitches in the production of the show, and Truman starts to realize that all is not as it appears to be. Yeah. And suddenly he says, I've never left this community. I want to travel. I want to go out and see the world. And the travel agents try to talk him out of it. His wife, remember that? And his wife tries to talk him out of it. And he says, I'm going. And he packs his bag, and there are all sorts of obstacles that the director conjures. And um, eventually he gets out. He gets out of his community, i.e., the TV set. Remember, he's like on a boat. He's on a boat to sail away, and like he bumps up against a wall, which is like the boundary of the set. Do you remember this? And like he finds a doorway and he walks up the stairs and out of the set. And he awakens, right? He awakens to the way in which the world, his world, truly exists, and he escapes. He gets out. This is samsara. That was his samsara, very, very similar to our samsara. Okay, the samsara that we're experiencing individually and collectively. Please watch The Truman Show again. It's so good, so brilliant, and so powerful. Um, the difference between the Truman Show and our experience, the samsara that we're experiencing now, is as far as I know, everybody in my world and everybody in your world aren't hired professional actresses and actors, you know, going along with this dreamlike experience. Yeah. And there's no director like telling everybody what to do, as far as we know. Um,
How do we know?
as far as we don't, we ultimately we don't know. And that's another kind of a thread we could follow. Maybe we will at some point, but there's not time this morning.
Mara.
Maybe tomorrow.
No, I
Yeah.
said Mara.
Oh, Mara. Mara, Mara. Yeah. Right. Delusion, Mara being a representative of the delusions. But anyways, so just know that this experience, this dream that we're having, this movie that we might be starring in, don't be lulled into thinking that the world that we're experiencing is as it appears to be just because most of the people around me seem to be having the same experience, right? Or the people around you seem to be having the same experience. That's kind of a confusing thing, and it's not a confusing thing. It's a feature that sort of affirms and strengthens our confusion, right? Everybody around me seems to be having the same experience. Like we get angry, we develop attachment, we get confused, we experience jealousy. Everybody, this is the human condition, right? This is the human condition. So this must be the way things really are, right? Now it starts to break down a little bit when we recognize that different things make different people, though makes those of us, they're different objects of anger and they're different objects of attachment, they're different objects of ignorance. So everybody isn't having the same experience, the same samsaric experience. Samsara, here's the definition of samsara, all of the appearances and conceptions of a deluded mind, all the appearances and conceptions of a mind that is in the throes of delusions, anger, attachment, ignorance being the big three, the root delusions. And our Truman Show, you guys, our Truman Show is like Truman. We think that the world we're experiencing is separate and independent from our mind. That's our Truman Show. Yeah. Just like Truman Burbank, we think what you see is what you get, right? And it's affirmed by everybody having a very similar experience to me, when in fact, we bring the world into existence with our mind. For a middling being on the intermediate scope, for a middling being on the intermediate scope, we want to awaken from this confusion. We want to awaken to the fact that not only do I create the world with my mind and everything in it, we touch in on this with our conclusion of our meditation. Become aware again of this collection of parts we've agreed to label physical body. We think that body, we think that this entity, this phenomenon called body, and even more confusing, my body has independent existence. Right? Body, what's to not understand? We bring body, our mind assimilates these collection of parts called skin, flesh, spleen, blood, lungs, bones, marrow, cells, DNA. It's like body. What you see is what you get, right? And we kind of get lulled into this notion that it's an independent entity that exists separate from our mind. But as you can see, by assimilating these parts and stamping a label on it, my body, we're lulled into thinking that body exists separate from our mind. In fact, we bring it into existence with our mind. A being on the intermediate, a middling being practicing the intermediate scope of Buddha Dharma aspires to awaken from this illusion, this dreamlike experience, this dreamlike experience of samsara, and get out, awaken to it. And the real, oh my gosh, it's already 8:58. The real linchpin of this is wisdom realizing emptiness. And emptiness says the fundamentally defining aspect of a thing is that it has no fundamentally defining aspect. This absence of a fundamentally defining aspect or an inherently existing aspect is what defines phenomena, what defines all phenomena. That's like a traditional Buddhist presentation of fact, of saying that we create it all with our mind. We create everything with our mind. And to be confused about that is to be stuck in samsara. And to be confused about this is the cause for us to continue to take rebirth over and over and over in perpetuity until we awaken from the dream slash nightmare of samsara, all the appearances and conceptions of a deluded mind. It's radical. It's totally radical. Just like the Truman Show is radical. And Truman's awakening is radical. This is the aspiration and intention of a middling being practicing the intermediate scope. I want to awaken from this dream, this confusion-based dream called samsara, and experience the peace of nirvana, all the appearances and conceptions of a pure mind or of an awakened mind, a liberated mind. Please commit this to memory, study, get to know it as well, so you know where you're going. If you decide you want to be on the intermediate, on the middling path, on an intermediate scope path. Okay. 9 o'clock. Lotus Center is partnering with the Silver City Food Co-op and Upper Gila Watershed Alliance to screen a wonderful, wonderful film called The Seeds of Vandana Shiva. It's by donation. It's going to be at Light Hall, WNMU, on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Short movie, like 60, 80 minutes long. Pretty short movie, very powerful movie. If you're inclined, I hope, and are available, I hope you can make it. Okay, thanks everyone so much.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Jeff.
Yep.